Welcome back to another episode of the Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. Now I've got to give you a quick apologies. I was meant to do this initial video on Wednesday. Couple things happened. I ended up running out of time, few other bits and pieces. But I've got some good news. Now I can't tell you for what specific reason yet. I will have to do that next week. But from next week, the work rate's going to increase. So right now, even though I only do videos on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, due to my commitments with the Undefeated channel and obviously not wanting to clash with their schedule, you're going to get more videos from me basically. So as opposed to only having maybe 3 videos a week on a good one, sometimes 4 if I'm really lucky, yeah, you're gonna end up getting more like, you know, sort of 5 videos a week, 4 absolute minimum. Fem Files is coming back. I got some new stuff for that that I'll be breaking down, and a few other bits and pieces. I've got a couple other shows that I'm potentially thinking about trialing. Just want to see how those go. The numbers have been numbering, and I'm happy with sort of the uptake in new subscribers and the views of the last few things. So again, thank you to everyone who's watching. Please continue to watch, even if it's just for a minute. You get a little feel for it. If you don't like it, you can leave. If you like it, stick around, leave your comments. I'm appreciating all of that. Anyway, let me stop rambling. Got quite a bit that I want to get through. I'm just going to be like, you know, real quick bullet points here and there, so it's not even going to be, you know, big long segments. But without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, in my video on Sunday with regards to the AJ and Usyk fight, or the Usyk AJ fight, I misspoke on some of my scoring. So this was the scorecard that I was meant to give. I had Usyk winning the first round, Joshua winning the second, Joshua winning the third, Usyk winning the fourth, Joshua winning the fifth and the sixth, Usyk winning the seventh and the eighth, Joshua winning the ninth, and then Usyk winning the 10th, the 11th and the 12th. That's what it should have said. So I did say 115, 113. Subsequently, having watched it back, I've got a different scorecard. That was actually, to me, was very generous to Joshua, because he actually didn't win those rounds. So the revised scorecard, and I've got to watch it one more time just to confirm this, but Usyk winning the first round, Joshua winning the second, third round was a swing, but Usyk round, fourth round, Usyk round, fifth round, I had it even, sixth round, Usyk, 7th round Usyk, 8th round Usyk, 9th round Joshua, 10th round, 11th round and 12th round all to Usyk. So overall my scorecard was 117 to, no sorry, it was 118 to 111. If I swing that third round back in Joshua's favor, then it ends up being 117, 112. And if I decide not to make the 5th round even, which it was because Usyk did the majority, but Joshua landed a couple of decent shots, if I was to give that one to him, then it would be more of a 117, 111. But ultimately, yeah, 118, 111 is the scorecard I had. So he didn't do as good as I thought in terms of winning the rounds, but he did much better in the overall fight. I just wanted to put that out there. So yeah. Now, I don't have my other phone on me to be able to read the quote verbatim, but as I think most of you know by now, Deontay Wilder came out earlier on this week and said 2 very interesting comments. One about Anthony Joshua and the other one about Alexander Usyk. So let's start with the Usyk one. So he said that essentially he thinks Tyson Fury is going to beat Alexander Usyk because he's going to be too big. He's just going to use his body and lean on him and other things, he said. And he also said, you know, Usyk ain't got the best gas tank, so that will wear him down. First things first, when has Usyk ever had a bad gas tank? He's one of the few fighters that actually can go 12 rounds for fun at a pace. in this day and age. He knows where to take his breaks. He knows where to step on the gas. Yes, he can get tired like everyone else, but he's very capable of fighting through tiredness. And it's very telling that someone like Deontay Wilder is going to be telling you that, oh, Usyk has got gas tank problems, when he's arguably got the biggest gas tank problems out of most of the people in the heavyweight division, despite how actually thin and aesthetically svelte he is. He doesn't have a high work rate in the ring. Every time he fights, he's very, very economical. Anytime you make him have to throw more than he wants to or push him on his back foot, he gasses out. He was pretty much knackered from the end of the first round or the second round of the Tyson Fury third fight. Why? Because he's not used to throwing punches in bunches or more than a certain amount around. Right. Also, he said that essentially with AJ's outburst, that comes when you've been manufactured and you've got people around you that, you know, are protecting you from the hard fights and, you know, essentially spoon feeding you, and you've got yes men telling you what you want to hear. So when now, once you don't succeed, you know, you start to question everything. Words to that effect. As I said, I don't have the exact verbiage, but that's basically what he was saying. Now, again, I said this on Twitter the other day. I'm gonna say it on the video just so you guys have got my face saying it. Like, it's literally like he was talking about himself. Both of them. I mean, he doesn't have a great stamina gas tank, so it's like he's projecting his insecurities about his stamina onto Usyk, and he was the most protected heavyweight in the world of the last 10 years. Like, hands down, unquestionably. Poor competition, kept away from the hardest of fights. You know, the Vladimir Klitschko one is the clearest indicator of that. The amount of trouble they had getting this quote-unquote AJ fight over the line numerous times, offer after offer after offer. That sounds more like something that he was culpable of as opposed to AJ. So it's just very ironic that those are the kind of statements that he's coming out with. And again, maybe he's projecting because he realizes, like, damn, this happened to me. And he's almost using AJ as the gateway for the people to say, nah, like, this is my problem as well. Kind of look at this. So, I mean, ultimately, you can't really take him too seriously. Like, he's a very deluded individual. He definitely thinks he's a lot smarter than he is. And yeah, it was funny to hear but again, it's a bit sad also. I won't harbor on it, you know, like I said, that's a bit old news now. That's something I should have spoke about on Wednesday, but I thought let me have my little take on that. And like I said, if you want to see more, you can see I had tweets about that during the week, so you know that this isn't just like something I've heard elsewhere. So immediately after the fight, as we saw Saturday, Tyson Fury came out saying basically he could beat both Usyk and Joshua in one day. Like, they're both dossers, both terrible. It was a terrible fight to watch, blah blah blah. Subsequently, he's been on Tawks Sport. He's also been on his Instagram stories, I believe, and he's come out with quotes basically saying that this fight is all about the money. If it was AJ, the fight would have been for free for the UK public, but because it's this quote-unquote foreigner, right, they're gonna have to pay. If he wants to be able to get clout and notoriety off of Tyson Fury's name, then they gotta pay for the privilege. He wants £500 million, not dollars. He wants £500 million. He wants the Saudis essentially to put it up because they're the only people that's really gonna be able to have that kind of power to put that kind of money up. He has to get more than Floyd Mayweather got against Pacquiao because he got $400 million, so he wants £500 million. Yada yada yada. If none of that happens, he doesn't take the fight, blah blah blah. Now, some people are saying, look, it's just Tyson Fury being negotiator, like a bad negotiator, but being a negotiator, knowing he's not going to get that, but if you start that high, then at least when you come down in price, you're going to end up coming down somewhere that's a lot more reasonable to what you want, maybe closer to like 100 million, 150, maybe even 75. Now, there's two parts to this. The first part is that Tyson Fury is likely not going to want to take less money than what Anthony Joshua got. Now, from sources that I have, and also was quoted on the RingIQ live chat from last night, so have a look at that if you want something interesting and fun to watch. Anthony Joshua got, I believe, 45 million from the Saudi actually as a purse, but then on his endorsements on top, the whole package rounded up to about 119 million. I don't know if that's pounds or dollars, one or the other. Tyson Fury, with his inferiority complex that he has, is unlikely to want to earn less than what Anthony Joshua earned, which means he's going to be looking for at least 120, 125 as an absolute minimum to take on this challenge. But we know from Frank Warren, this fight is a 50-50. He said it will be billed as 50-50, it will be negotiated as a 50-50. So if Tyson Fury is getting 125, then so is Usyk. Now, is this fight a 250 million pound fight? No. To be honest, at best, I think it's maybe 100 million, and that's dollars, not pounds. Tyson Fury's never earned that kind of money before, and he certainly never brought that kind of money back to any promoter that he's ever been with. I mean, you can check the gate receipts, you can check the pay-per-view buys, you can check the outlays of all the fights he had on the top rank ESPN deal, and the fight he had at Queensbury at Wembley, which Frank Warren was very, very quick to talk about, sold out 94,000, but up until now still doesn't want to tell us what the pay-per-view buys were. That's all very telling. Now, there's also the argument that maybe Tyson Fury didn't get the $32 million or whatever it was from his part of the $41 million purse. Maybe he only actually got 15 to 20 instead, which would have saved some money. But ultimately, if that thing did well, you would have heard about them pay-per-view numbers. That's just the be-all and end-all of it. But outside of that, let's forget about Tyson Fury's lack of market value for the time being, and just the fact that he's a bit of a scumbag individual anyway, that I'm sure if the Saudis, who want to quote unquote improve their reputation to the global public, are not really going to want to associate with someone that, you know, does and says the things that he does. Let's just talk about the you know, just the common xenophobic comments of Tyson Fury. Oh, this foreigner that don't even speak English, that no one knows, on his Instagram or the Snapchat, whatever it was, he was doing the jog, talking about like they don't even look after the people in this country, but they're letting tens of thousands of other foreigners and refugees to come and take the benefits and take the land, to come and then bomb up the place, which is essentially the words he used. You know, those aren't exact words, but you can find the right words if you need to. Go to the Undefeated Podcast if you need the exact quotes. But the point being, you've got him on the Tawks sport with Simon Jordan and whatever the other guy's name is, I forget it right about now. Like, you hear this foreigner, like nobody knows this Usyk guy, you can't even pronounce his name, this foreigner, like I'm not going to give any unknown foreigner chance at greatness, like blah blah blah. So you already see what he's doing. He's trying to endear himself to a section of fans that he knows feeds into those type of thoughts and feelings. Outside of that, I just want to know why no one at the time challenged him about the language he was using. The only time they had anything to say was when he was dropping F-bombs on Talksport. But you can casually just hear this guy chatting xenophobic slurs towards Usyk, and not one of them says anything about it, thereby being complicit in the actions. I mean, that's more what I had an issue with. Like, That to me was nasty. There was absolutely no need for that kind of thing. And ultimately, look, you gotta look at it this way. As much as I might be born of Britain, London, UK, whatever, I guess in the eyes of many, I'm a foreigner. A lot of people that look like me, in the eyes of many, will be foreigners. How do you think that sits with that generation and that demographic of people? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that don't sit too well with me, just in terms of the narrative. Like, he's literally like, if we're gonna be honest, he's the biggest dick rider in the whole of the UK. He jumps from wave to wave to wave. As soon as he sees that someone's maybe done something that might have slightly irked or surprised one set of people, he jumps straight in and he's like, oh, he's the savior of that people. He will go and all of a sudden be that the polar opposite. He'll be the remedy for them. He's done it with the mental health. He's done it with his traveller tales, which you don't really hear a lot of now. All of a sudden it's make Britain great again, so to speak. You know, oh, it's us, it's me against it's us against those foreigners. Like, we gotta keep those ones out. You know, the belts need to be in the West with the English speakers. You gotta be able to speak English to hold the belts. All those rhetorics, trying to carve out his fan base, and no one has an issue with that. All right, cool. You know what? Let me move on. Last couple quick bits. Dillian Whyte has basically rubbished that he's fighting Daniel Dubois next, or at least he's rubbished the fact that he's fighting in October. He said that he might be fighting in November, possibly December, but he said he don't know why people keep trying to use his name to sell their dead fighters and dead promotions. He's not fighting in October. So that would now lead us to believe that that won't be Daniel Dubois' next fight, unless the October was just a penciled in date and ultimately they moved that to November or, you know, December. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Also, last one I'm going to touch on, the Lee Wood versus Mauricio Lara card has officially been announced now, and it is confirmed it will take place on the same date as the Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker fight, which is the 24th of September, which is a bit of a piss take because I was at Lee Wood's last fight in Nottingham. Great arena, great crowd. The card itself wasn't that great, but the main event was special, right? So far on this card, there's a couple good fights on there. I've got reasons to go to Nottingham. It is a place I do quite like. I've got some friends over there, so it's a chance to get up there. However, I've already committed to Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. To be honest, I do prefer to watch that one. I've got my girl, my Capricorn Queen of Diamonds, Raven Chapman. She's gonna be on the card, so I'm gonna be there supporting her. Also, you know, you got Amanda Serrano and Sarah Mahfood on the card as well. There's a few other decent fights on there as well. So ultimately, that's two very, very good fight cards on the same night. Now, on this occasion, I gotta say, Eddie, you're a dickhead. I'm sorry, but you're a dickhead. There was no reason for you to put that card on the 24th. You knew that this other card was there, and you knew that chances are the people have already bought tickets for that or bought accommodation. They can't do both. You can't be in two places at once, especially when they're like 2 hours apart from each other. There was, as far as I'm aware, there was a free date on the 1st of October. And then after the 1st, you had the O2, you've got Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. Why could you not put the Lee Wood card on that 1st of October date? Even if you've got an American card, which I haven't seen on the schedule, but even if you did have one, you don't have to go over there. You can let Frank go over there. And then, or you let Frank host the Lee Wood fight and you go over to America, do that comeback for Conor and Chris. It was fairly easy for that to be the case. You did not have to do this clash. So yeah, even though I've got my DAZN subscription, I'll probably be, you know, paying half attention to what's going on in the ring down there and watching the rest on my phone. But ultimately, why should I have had to do that? Like, on this occasion, as I said, Eddie, probably one of the best promoters we've got right now, but that was a dickhead thing. Like, you need to do better than that, because that's pissing off the public. They're already pissed off with the whole DAZN pay-per-view thing, and now you've got a half decent card. Okay, yeah, cool, that was a pay-per-view, so some people ain't gonna buy it because of that, but there's people that still gonna go there. Now you're making people have to choose between which one they want to go to, or if they've already gone to one, now they can't go to the other because they've already put down the money for accommodation or whatever. Like, nah, like, you gotta do better, if I'm gonna be real. But you know what, I ain't really got much more to talk about. There's some other bits and pieces, but this is a long one already. Probably I'll get around to that in another video tomorrow. Like I said, I got some time now in it, and ain't nothing else really going on. So please like and subscribe, smash the like button if you can. I do appreciate it. For now, Hardcore Casual out.